How's your week been? What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber. If you've not seen one before, it's basically whatever I've been up to in the week, gas jobs, plumbing jobs, whatever I've been doing. If you don't subscribe to the channel, please subscribe and give the video a like if you like it. So this week I was gonna sort of label this one as like customers from hell, because it seems I've got like a varied amount of jobs, where one was an old boy tried to fix his own boiler. One was a mate of mine who gave me a job that just turned into an absolute nightmare. And another one was a little old lady who I did a favour for, and she absolutely burned me, broke my heart at the end of that job. So that's on here. And then I just need to announce, so this week or this month, the Trade Legends podcast launched. Now that is a podcast with, I'm the host and Alex from Unilight, and we're going to be interviewing tradespeople. So this week we did one on Friday. That was with Nick Bundy, the electrician. You probably follow him on here, and David from Nipex Tools. And then the first show was with the channel sponsors, which is Power Tool Mate. If you've bought a Power Tool recently, you might have bought it from Power Tool Mate, and Church Farms Brewery. Now, what I'm going to do to try and boost the channel, because it's on YouTube and it's on wherever you listen to a podcast normally, I'm going to do a giveaway. So I've got a load of stuff. I've got some Trade Legends beer mats, this bar mat, and then loads of bottles of beer. So there's the Trade Legends beer, there's a Bright Sparks, Carpenter's Wood, Builder's Crack, and then there's a Plumber's one, but I've run out of them, drank all of them. And then Alex told me to give away some Unilights, and it was the new wireless range. So a wireless charging deck that you can put your phone in, a couple of wireless torches, but I can't find them and I'm too busy to search for them. But you can win all that. All you need to do is go over to the Trade Legends YouTube page, which I'm going to link in this video, and subscribe, and just leave a comment on the video. One person at random who leaves a comment is going to win all that stuff. There will just be loads of stuff. So go and do that. This first job is an old boy, rang me up and said his boiler's not working. He's got no heating and no hot water. He's already fitted a new thermocouple to it and it's still not working. So went over. Now, I don't know how you feel about people working on their own boilers. I don't know why, but if it's an old boy, older generation, I'm kind of okay with it, because it's in their own house. They're probably, say, competent. They know what they're doing enough that they'll attempt to fix a boiler, because that generation, I think they know how to fix things. And he'd put a new thermocouple on about 6 months ago and it had cured the problem. So when he had the same problem, he thought a new thermocouple was going to do it. So when I got there, he's got the thermocouple that he took off and the new thermocouple that he put on the boiler. This is the job where the old boy has tried to fix his own boiler. He's put a new thermocouple on it. So when I light the pilot, you can see that the pilot flame isn't big enough. It's not reaching the thermocouple. So that's his issue. But when you're old school, old chap wants to fix his own boiler, they're going to have a go. Thermocouple's the most obvious thing. He's probably done it a few times before. So there's the new one that he'd took off, because he'd already swapped that a few months ago. And then he's got another new one on the boiler. So I just showed him with a multimeter and my gas bottle that the one he took off was okay, and probably the new one that he put on was okay. And it wasn't in fact that, it was actually the pilot. So whipped the pilot assembly out, showed him the injector on the pilot assembly, that it was blocked, held it up to the window basically, because you should be able to see a little hole, that hole on the end there. If you hold it up to the light, you should be able to see through it, and you couldn't. So we cleaned that out with some air duster, put it all back together. Now you can see the pilot light is absolutely massive, and it is touching the tip of that thermocouple. So that was a pretty easy fix. That's all working now. And what I will do is, if you don't know how to test a thermocouple, I'm going to show you now. Right guys, so I'm going to show you how to test a thermocouple. Now I tried to do this on the job, but the guy watched me the whole time, and I even tried to get him to help me film it, but I couldn't hold my multimeter and my camera and the blowtorch, and it was just a nightmare. So I gave up and thought I'd do it when I get home. Now I have got some crocodile clamps that fit onto the end of my multimeter probes, but can I find them? No. So we're just going to use these. It's not ideal because it's hard to keep it on the tip of that, but basically the first test we're going to do is if you grab your multimeter, set it on resistance, you need one right on the tip of that, and you need to keep it on there without it moving because it likes to move around, and then one on the copper, and you should pick up some resistance. Like that. If you get OL, which I've had this before, whatever training course you go on, they'll say OL means something different, but open line, over limit, it means there's too much resistance that it can't record it. So it means your thermocouple's knackered basically. So you should get some resistance between the tip there and the copper. Don't matter where you touch this one on the copper, could be right at the end, could be on here, but it's got to be on the copper. So that's your first test. Second test, you need millivolts there, and it's DC. So when you first put it on, you see it says AC on mine, you have to press the yellow button and that converts it to DC. Same test between the tip and here, and there should be 0. Okay, now what we're going to do is heat the thermocouple up. Okay, so you see the thermocouple is glowing red now. Same test, and we should see the voltage start to go up. If I can keep this steady, it's about 35 millivolts DC. Now if I kill the flame, 35 should start to drop. See, we're going down now, and it will go all the way back down to 0 when it cools right down. And that's it, that's how you test a thermocouple. I must admit, when I was training and a few years ago, thermocouple swapping, testing was like a bread and butter job, but hardly ever do it now. This is a universal one I had on the van. I can't remember the last time I had to swap one, to be fair, so, but that's how you do it. Right, we're in the van. Just going to show you how I use Tradify on my iPad. I normally use it on my phone, but I can't film it and do it on my phone at the same time, so I'm just going to show you my iPad. So if I open Tradify up, I'm just going to move it to the side so you can't see any names and addresses, but basically on this right hand side here that I'm covering is a list of all the jobs I've got to do today. Now I've got 2 small jobs and 1 bigger job, but also what it does, which I think is pretty cool, is it gives you a map. So you can see on the map here, this is where I'm working today. I've got 2 small jobs that are here and 1 big job that's over here, and it just shows me where I've got to go. So they're all local, they're all in Loughborough, and if I click on each individual job, it will open it up and tell me what I've got to do, where it is exactly, and stuff like that. And from that map, whatever I click on, I can then email the tenant, text the tenant, I can send an invoice, I can create a gas certificate, all from within the app, which I think is really cool because you can just see where you're going, you can see where your last job's going to be, and you can kind of like plan your day. So if you didn't know about it, this is the app Tradify. If you want to try it for 14 days, I think it is a free trial. And then if you like it enough that you want to subscribe to it, use my discount code, which is PB Plumber, and you'll get 50% off for 3 months. And I'll link this up in the description of the video. Just click on it and do your free trial and see what you think.
Gone to drain. It's pissed out, parking underneath. So it seems to be leaking from where the white sort of U-bend area is.
Okay. You see that there? Oh yeah, there's not one in that one. Did they say Curry's fitted this new machine?
It was fitted by the moving company.
Fitted by the moving company.
So it was fitted to a water supply that's in this cupboard.
Yeah.
And then the drain hose was the left-hand side.
Oh, they've
was already
extended
there.
it, okay.
So they've just fitted from the washer to that point that was already fitted in the property.
Some water as well, okay. Right, let's have a look. Believe this.
Yeah.
There's actually a wire here. They've tied around the end of it and then they've not bothered to finish pulling it up. So you see, that's it there now, coming out. So that was just obviously on the floor.
Yeah.
So whether they just got distracted, but that should be in that white pipe.
Right, okay.
So that's all it is.
That makes sense.
So can you tell us your name and why you're so special?
My name's Edward.
Can you look up please for the camera?
My name's Edward Nipex Hans. I was born in a little factory in Wuppertal in Germany.
Really?
And yeah, I've got Nipex for hands.
Yeah. Could you show us? And what's the best thing in your opinion about having Nipex for hands?
The best thing's probably I'm really good at my job.
Yeah.
The last 3 years in a row I've won top nut tightener at
Wow.
work.
Yeah. Speaking of tight nuts, how do you
Next question.
next question. Oh, okay. What's the worst thing about having Nipex for hands, do you think? And has it held you back in life at all?
The worst thing's probably I've never been able to get a girlfriend.
And do you think this is because of the Nipex or because of your personality?
I don't know if I've showed you these before, but this is a pair of gold-plated Nipex Cobras that I won in a competition. It was the 250k challenge. And you had to make up a video to send into Nipex and you could win one of 250 pairs. So I was lucky enough to win one. So I'm just going to show you now. The box is really nice. And then inside, we've got this little Nipex official 250k edition. Get them out. Gold plated Cobras, how cool are they? And they've got the number 114 out of 250 is my set. Open them up. Pretty cool, eh? Obviously I'm going to keep them in the box because maybe they'll be worth a lot of money one day. And they go really nicely with, and I've had these a while now. This is a pair of Rothenberger. They had like a 70-year anniversary that I was lucky enough to be at. So this box is cool as well. It's got like a magnetic flap on there. And inside here, this is a chrome plated pair of Rothenbergers. Look at them. It's got a 70-year anniversary, 70 years printed on it. But how nice are they? So they're going, well, I'm just going to keep them safe. Maybe they'll be worth a lot of money in the years to come. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you.
So this job was kind of an emergency. They got damp proofers in and they had to take the radiators off, but they rang me because they couldn't take the radiators off because none of the TRVs would shut off and they didn't know where to drain the system from because there's no drain cocks on any of these downstairs rads. And all the TRVs are knackered, so they're either spinning or they'll only turn off as far as the frost set in, which means it's still allowing a small amount of water through. So they called me to see if I could go and get the rads off.
So if you're fitting combi boilers, these are the blanks that you get that blank off where your integral filling link attaches. So I keep those and they're great for jobs like this. Because once I've took this off, because we've not got the decorator cap to shut this TRV off, it's letting by, I'm just going to screw that over there and blank it. Comes with a washer already inside, fibre washer. So they're definitely worth saving for jobs like this. And I don't need to tell you because I've told you before how much I love these plumb tubs. Because that's just clipped around that pipe there. You can see the water's running down it. It's all collecting in there. This is the curved, well, I say curved, bent one. So that's the curved one, bent one out. So we've got a cap on that end, that's capped. And then just to prove, so this is shut down on its frost setting. But obviously we've not got the decorator cap. So if I undo this, you'll see. Still letting water out. So that's now isolated, so I can fill the system back up or pressurise the system and get the heating on. So, took some radiators off for my mate Ian, very good customer of mine, and had some damp proofing done, plastering done, new skirting boards. Just come back to refit the radiators that I took off. That's not the radiator that I took off. This is what happens, guys. They trick you into coming back. They tell you that, yeah, just come put the radiators back on, and then they give you some fire. So now I've got to, obviously the pipe centres are wrong. He's probably not got any valves for the radiator.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
But it looked so pretty!
So yeah, we'll have to, what time is it?
4:45?
4:45 on a Friday. Fuck's sake.
But it looked so pretty!
God, can't make it up. So that's the bay window one that's got to go back on. He's painted them. And that one's going back on there. This always happens. The plasterers took the radiator brackets off, which means I've got to start again from scratch basically, which is nice as well at this time on a Friday. I think I'm getting symptoms of COVID. I might have to go home.
I've got a test if you need one.
Fuck off. So if you remember, they're the caps I put on. So we'll take them off, let the pressure out of the system, and then rehang. Do this one first. So that's the first rad on the wall. I'm changing the TRVs, but I'm also changing the lock shields. I just think it's a better job, and also the age of them. I mean, they work, but just giving them an update. So using a 16mm Joker for this, and my Dickie Dye olive splitter, which you've probably seen before, is my favourite olive splitter. So I got the bay window rad on. I really should have filmed how I hung the brackets, because when I was doing this on my Instagram, people kept asking me how I got the rad on so quick, but I'll do that on another video if I get time. So this job was just going from bad to worse. They painted the air pep. I call these air peps. Whenever I say that, someone will say, surely you mean air pips. I call them air peps. Painted them in, so I couldn't turn them. So I had to scrape all the paint off the edge just so I could open it. And then when I was fucking dropped it. Luckily I didn't lose it, but yeah, this job was just getting me down. It was getting later and later in the evening. I knew I had to get to the gym. I was starving, hungry. I probably needed a piss as well. Everything was just pissing me off. So I've done the other two radiators. It's about 6:10 Friday night. Not going to attempt this now. Customer's going to order some valves for this rad, and then I will repipe this and make it look nice, because none of the centres are right on those pipes, so it will just look, it won't look right. Really want to probably come, I don't know, down between here and up, rather than trap it there. That's for another day. This was just a job from the letting agency. These taps aren't working and they are loose. So the landlord wants a new set. And me being me, when I went round to quote for this job, I asked the tenant what kind of taps she wanted. And she wanted a set of taps to match the bath taps. So I picked up these
gold. I mean, these were in stock at Screwfix. I didn't think anyone would have gold taps in, but these were in stock at Screwfix. And I think they're a pretty good match, so I was pretty pleased with that. So like with all my tap jobs I do these days, I'm using the Nerad Tapex kit, and because I took the foam out of the inside of the lid, it's all fell out again, which it always does. And we're just going to whip these taps out. Now they're on tap flexes, which makes it quite easy, and I'm going to use this part of the Tapex tool. If you've not seen this before, which I'm sure you have if you watched one of my videos before, it basically will fit onto that back nut like this, and then you can just turn it. And if there's a pipe in place still, the handle, that red handle, fits around the pipe. So it's just a dead easy way of doing it. And it works for both taking the old tap out and for putting the new tap in. So new tap's in, using the tool again to tighten the back nut and then to tighten the tap adapter onto the tap. So I think these kits are about 140 quid, which you might say is a lot just for a tool that does taps. I mean, it does bath taps as well and monoblock kitchen taps, but it pays for itself, honestly. It's one of the best things I've bought as a plumber. So that's that. Anyway, so I did manage to find a toilet flush handle in my van, so I thought I'll bang this on for her. And like with any favour job, it was a bastard to get out. I ended up cutting the whole thing out, and this was her reaction.
As if they don't move in the work, I'm very happy.
They don't move, and they'll both work.
Fantastic.
I've done your toilet handle as well.
Oh, that don't match, does it?
Do you want a gold one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just why I in my van. So this week I went back to the copper factory, Lawton Tubes, and they presented me with that paperweight, which I think is really, really nice of them. It's really cool. And I did a proper tour of the factory. So we sort of started at the start right through to the finished product, and I filmed the whole thing. That video I'll get edited and that'll be out towards the end of the week.